WestsTigers fans, our boys, they did it. They went to Leichhardt Oval. They've got back-to-back wins, and the Spoon Bowl is on. Let's celebrate another win by the WestsTigers on another episode of the WestsLife Podcast. Welcome in to another episode of the WestsLife Podcast, the intro video. Did that come up through all right, boys, on your screen? Apart from hitting go twice, give me a thumbs up if that went okay. But shouts to iChoice, our major sponsor. We filmed a little intro last week before the show. And for those watching, if you're listening back, then a nice little cheesy intro, much like a 80s sitcom with us walking through the door. The iChoice studio. Shouts to our friends at iChoice. At WestsLife Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Give us a follow, please. And on the profile pages, find or westtigers.com.au, find our link tree that has all the links to everything, including our Patreon. Shouts to our Patreon legends. Discord been going off this week. Obviously, after a big win, everyone's very happy. Much celebration, lots of jokes, and lots of fun in the Discord chat rooms and channels. That stuff going on. So patreon.com/WestsLife. If you want to join us just for a few bucks a month. YouTube, man, a lot of the YouTube comments coming in. Seeing plenty of the regulars. Shane Coates there. Hamish, Kim. Who else we got? Doreen. We got plenty of ladies this week. Must be ladies' night. The ladies are back. Good on you, girls. Righto. Let's go to the ladies' man. You might even get a few more girls drawing tonight because he's got a bit of a husky voice with his flu going on. How are you this evening, Az?
Yeah, g'day, Josh. G'day, Rob. G'day, everyone watching and listening. Josh is correct. Apologies in advance if there are some awkward sounding noises in the background for me tonight. Coughing and spluttering and things of that nature are happening. And the flu hit me like a freight train yesterday. And I'm doing what I can, trying to make it work as best I can. But it's podcast time, and we're coming off the back of 2 wins, including that really amazing win against everybody's most hated team, Manly, and looking forward to the show.
And Rob, much of the intro video was a lot of it was your idea. That one, it seemed to turn out okay in the end.
You've done a good job, mate. Don't give me any credit. That's all you and Jason. So just trying to give iChoice a bit more of a plug, seeing as they've jumped on board. Interesting, boys, just to be doing a review of a win 5 days after we've won. It's quite a long time, almost 120 hours since full time. So, but we never get sick of winning because they're too few and far between. And hopefully we're on our way to 3 wins in a row, and including the bye, hopefully 8 competition points in a row, and get some momentum into 2025.
Still just trying to upload the slides, but as we'll talk about Spoon Bowl, that's confirmed. So with Parramatta losing in almost the exact same fashion that the Manly Sea Eagles lost, the same halftime score, they were both down 16-0. The Broncos getting it done for us as Spoon Bowl is on.
Yeah, that was exactly what we needed. Parramatta absolute epic choke job, and no matter what happens between them and the Dragons this weekend, it sets up a winner avoids the spoon situation at Campbelltown in a week and a bit's time. So I think it's probably going to be the most exciting game of round 27.
Absolutely. And Rob, literally just before we went on to air, we broke the news to you that it's a 6 p.m. Friday, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it?
Oh, I think it is a shame, but I mean, I don't think it's going to stop the crowd from trying to get there or leave work early or do what they've ever got to do to get there. I just hope we have the place rocking and rolling like we did at Leichhardt last Thursday night, and I'm sure we will. Like, everyone's saying that tickets are really hard to get, and some are saying there's only general admission left. So look, I just hope everyone gets out there, and look, win or lose, I'm just really proud of the boys that they haven't sort of put the cue in the rack and just saved all their energy for 2025. They've drawn a line in the sand. They want to set some standards right now, and there's no using, we can't do anything this year. They're making the most of everything they can now. So I think the team, the club deserves our support, and we've got to get out there Friday week.
I'm getting there, boys. My computer is really being a pain in the ass for me tonight. We're going to get into the review of the game itself as the three of us headed out to Leichhardt on, when was it? Thursday night. It was so long ago. You are right. Rob, how did you find the atmosphere? 12,500 on a Thursday night is quite impressive. Quite a lot of Manly fans, got to say. Quite a few Manly fans. But, it was an amazing atmosphere for a Thursday evening.
Yeah, if Friday 6 o'clock is the worst time slot of the week, then the Thursday night game is the second worst time slot of the week. So real credit to all the fans who showed up, got the place rocking pretty hard. I wasn't expecting that big of a crowd. I thought maybe we'd get a decent crowd coming off that win against Souths, but I wasn't expecting 12,500, which I think was about 3,000 roughly more than the game 3 weeks before it against the Cowboys, which was same time slot too. So yeah, good on the crowd for showing up, made it a real great place to be. I had a bit of a lucky charm with me, it seems. So it was, it was just a really good night overall.
Yeah, should want us to come to more games that the Tigers are going to play like that. Rob, you were sitting over in your seats on the hill side. What was the view like from over there? The hill was pretty chockers.
I actually gave those seats to Jason and his 3 boys, Josh. I sat with my cousins about 7 or 8 rows behind you to your right. So yeah,
you're up in the stands, right?
Yeah, I was up in the stands. So no, still a great atmosphere. That you could tell the hill was rocking and rolling. Look, to be frank, I think if we were down 16-0 at Brookvale, it would have turned into a blowout. I really thought once we got to 16-12, the crowd really engaged. The booing of Brooks, which I didn't really condone and wasn't a part of. In hindsight, I actually think that did us a really big favour because it got to him. He spilled a football into Lockie Galvin's hands at one stage. Just before halftime, he shanked a kick, trying to do a chip over the top. So I think the crowd actually did get to him and actually helped the result. To be fair, like he did play quite well early on, but then after about the first 25 minutes, he kind of went back to some pretty poor mistakes. So yeah, the crowd definitely had an influence, and it was good to see.
Absolutely. Righto, it's got it up and running. So yeah, shouts to iChoice, Jason. If you did see our little video, if you haven't seen it yet, go to our YouTube. A lot of people are already on our YouTube. So after you watch this episode, how about head over to our YouTube channel, check out. We did another what do we call it? Post-game chat with the fans. A little what's the technical term? Fan reaction. That's what we called it. The fan reaction. Little 4-minute video. Had plenty of people steaming out of Leichhardt Oval. Some much more tanked than the others. There were a few swear words thrown around, and then but some young fans, old fans. It was Rob, we've done these things twice now and 2 wins. It'll be interesting because we're planning to continue to do them every home game from now on. We haven't done a loss yet, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of content we can build after a loss.
Yeah, well, let's hope we have to wait till next year to see what sort of content we get for that.
Absolutely. Shouts to iChoice. If you're looking for a home loan, or you can save money on a home loan, so if you've got a current mortgage, Jason, our friend, so my whole point of that video is Jason featured in that video. We just, it wasn't set. It looked very set up that we got our sponsor in there, but he just happened to be walking out, came over and gave us a reaction as well. 9743 0000 is where iChoice, and they're in Strathfield. What's the address again, Rob? I always forget this.
Corner of Liverpool Road and the Boulevard.
Thank you. So in Strathfield there, and a big shout out also to Mobile Corp, long-time sponsor and friends of the show. Been sponsoring for a few seasons of the WestsLife Podcast. Now, they're a business that in its early days was a major sponsor of the Balmain Tigers when they were MLC phones. For all your business IT needs, from cloud-based telephony, security, desktop support. Oh, man, I need that desktop support tonight. Anything Microsoft. I'm on a MacBook, so maybe not. Reach out to Mobile Corp through their website, mobilecorp.com.au. If you give them a call, tell them you're a listener of the WestsLife Podcast, and Stephen and the team will look after you. That's Mobile Corp, mobilecorp.com.au. Okay, a bit of news before we get into the game. So a few different signings. As it's nice being the team that's basically any player that's off contract, it seems to be the West Tigers with their what do they call it? The war chest. We're talking to a lot of players at the moment.
Yeah, this time last year it was the Canterbury Bulldogs, and look where it's got them. Considering we all thought that they'd probably not have the right, I guess, mix of players, considering it looked like they were signing a lot of utilities, but it seems to have worked out fairly well for them. So if we can make the right moves at this point, then I think we'll be even better set up for some potential success next year, especially with the growth and improvement of our younger players coming through and the signings, hopefully combinations gel. But yeah, I feel like the area we need the most experience now is the forwards, particularly the front row and potentially the lock position, although I know Latu is a bit of a chance of playing there. But I think if we make the right moves with our war chest full of cash, that we'll be set up even better next year than we already are.
So the four guys apparently we've had conversations with: Corey Horsburgh from the Raiders, Jack Bird from the Dragons, Royce Hunt from the Sharkies, who Sharkies apparently have said he has got permission to talk because he has got one more year there, but if he can get more pay elsewhere, they won't stand in his way, apparently. And Kobe Hetherington from the Broncos. Rob, which of these are you keen for?
Look, I don't think there's much out there, Josh, to choose from, really. So it's kind of sort of picking the worst of the best of a bad bunch, I should say. Look, out of those, maybe if you ignited the fire in Royce Hunt, you could get something out of him. He hasn't really been producing for Cronulla. So, again, you'd have to get him quite motivated. Horsburgh is a bit of a hothead, but he's kind of a little bit untapped, so I'm really not sure on him. I would have been really excited about Jack Bird if it was 6 or 7 years ago, but to be paying someone of his, sort of experience and injury-prone nature, like $800,000 a year for 2 years, I think that's just way over the top. And contrary to what a lot of people are saying on Twitter today, absolutely not a fan of Kobe Hetherington. Doesn't have much output. Granted, he can tackle, but he's undersized. He just doesn't do much for the Broncos. And if he was any good, the Broncos would be keeping him because they're actually lacking a bit of depth in the forwards themselves. So, look, I'm not really keen on most of those guys. But again, we have to replace Steph. We have to replace Papali'i. We probably have to replace Bateman, more than likely, should he not come back from England. So I would just prefer a bit more of a honest toiler. But to get guys like Hetherington, who's, honestly, like he's probably a poor man's version of Alex Twal. But they don't excite me, to be fair. And then maybe one or two names that do excite me, not excite me, but like a capable, like a Campbell Gillard, who I wouldn't mind having. It looks like he might be going to St. George. So, look, there's not too much out there, but, again, we'll just trust in Richo. I just hope we don't pay big money for guys just for the sake of it. And if worse comes to worse, we should be prioritising signing Fanua Bole and extending Sione Fainu and the guys that are, doing it for us now, and just, show a bit of faith in them. And And if it means another year of, sort of, like a bit of a so-so year, so be it. I'd rather do that than commit to blokes that are just going to be injury prone or not, put out like we've had in previous years with your, with your Josh Reynolds and your, Madalinos and McQueens and all those sort of guys.
What are your opinions on the names thrown out so far?
Yeah, much the same as Rob. Kobe Hetherington is a bit of an iffy one for me. Horsburgh, I think, will be good if Benji can have the same effect on him that he seems to have had on Samuel Afenu. I've said so many times now that I was really worried about Samuela and his temperament, what we saw in the under-19s Origin game last year, but he seems to have come along really well. We saw a little bit of his hot-headedness in our first trial game this year, but yeah, past that, he's like he was our first try scorer for this season, and he's been very, I guess, underrated as a signing for any club, and I don't think he'll get the plaudits he deserves for that because a bloke named Stephen Crichton exists.
Yeah, for me, Corey Horsburgh, I think, look, it all comes down to, and we never know, it's always rumoured. For me, as always, it's down to how much we're paying for him. So, I mean, even Jack Bird, if it was, like you said, Rob, 800 for 2 years, apparently it's not enough according to him. But a lot of us would be like, but with his injury history.
That'd be a foresight.
Yeah, it all depends on money. Like, I want Corey Horsburgh, but I don't want us to throw Ben Madalino money, as you said before, Rob. If he comes and he's a bench rotation guy and adds a bit of depth for, I don't know, $500,000 or something, maybe less. I'm not sure what he's worth, but yeah. Like you said, trust in Richo, see what happens in the future. But yeah, like someone said in the comments there, Pole and Galvin, hopefully extensions for them the priority anyway, but I'm sure they can deal with more than one thing at once. Righto, let's get into the game that was, 5 days ago now, but let's relive it. Why not? So, Rob, Manly ran out to a 16-0 try. I haven't cut up the Manly tries. I didn't want to put us through that. I was tempted to. Shouts to Lockie from Triple M. He sent me through the Triple M highlights with Maroon calling it. So we'll play the WestsTigers tries in a minute. But, man, when the Eagles got out to 16-0, it wasn't... I think it kind of gets a little bit lost. But to come back from 16-0... when was the last time the WestsTigers made such a comeback? Like, it really was one of the great wins for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, it was a huge turnaround. We ended up scoring 30 unanswered points, from 16-0 down. Look, those first 3 tries were terrible. There's an argument that the first try could have been an obstruction on Ola Kawatu, before Garrick got around Staines and fed Jason Saab in the corner. But basically, those 3 tries, Manly scored untouched. No one was around the legs or tackling, and they got over the try line too easily. There and then I just thought, you know what, maybe this is too big an ask. Manly have got a lot to play for. But sure enough, the boys just stuck to the task and they got on a little bit of a roll with the I thought our forward pack was amazing. Just their backs are so dangerous. Every time they seem to shift the ball, whether it was in that 16-0 period or the back end of the game, they just looked like they were going to score tries at will. But, our forwards and in particular our bench did an amazing job, and our bench was much better than Manly's bench. We kind of called that last week on the show when we were previewing it. Look, full credit to the boys. I mean, it wasn't always pretty, but they never dropped their heads. The enthusiasm was infectious, whether someone did a great tackle or a try or, the boys were there celebrating and cheering everyone on. And it just seems like there's a really good spirit amongst the group now. So, look, win or lose, they're giving their all. And as a WestsTigers fan, everyone should be proud of that effort. And it's not going to be perfect, but, as I've seen on social media and other things, you look at our spine, take out Coruscant and the 1, 6 and 7 are still eligible for SG Ball this year. So we do have some really good young talent in that squad. And now next year, our spine's going to have depth. we've just got to fill those forwards with some really good pieces because, the three guys we mentioned earlier, they're going to be very, very hard to replace. And look, Manly are going to go places in the finals. If Trbojevic plays like that, if he's starting to come back to that form he showed 3 or 4 years ago when he was untouchable and he was the best player on the field, Manly's a good scalp to have. I'm just glad we played it at Leichhardt because, like I said, I think if that was at Brookie or somewhere else, we could have had 50 or 60 put on us. But, the crowd got into it. We, whether people like to believe it or not, I think we manipulated the ref, especially with some decisions and some booing and, getting the video looked at to get some sin bins. Like, the crowd really did play its part. So I think it's always important at Leichhardt, Campbelltown, wherever it may be, that the home crowd gets there. And look, what have we had now? Six wins. One of them was at Combank in an away game, but that's our home ground next year. So at least we know we can win at those 3 grounds. We've just got to find ways to win at these other grounds now that we play at.
Yeah, I believe our last 6 games at Leichhardt and Campbelltown, we've won now. I don't have stats, man.
No, I think we lost to the Cowboys somewhere in between and maybe Melbourne, I feel. I could be wrong.
But I think
our last lost to the Cowboys and the Storm.
Yeah. We've won 3 out of 5 at Leichhardt, and I think we've won 2 out of 4 at Campbelltown.
We have, yeah.
Maybe it's our last 4 games. Because last 2 at Leichhardt and last 2 at Campbelltown. Is that right?
Yeah, so we lost our first 2
last 4
at Campbelltown and then won our last 2. Leichhardt went win, loss, win.
Correct.
Which is above average.
We beat Cronulla, Gold Coast. We lost to Melbourne and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Righto. So, 16-0 up. And then our beloved captain.
The 20 as the tackle count restarts for the WestsTigers. They'll get up and play it back. They're getting a good reception from the locals. It's Coruscant, Happy Coruscant, one of the great individual tries of 2024, and he's put it right under the posts. The 20 as the tackle count restarts for the WestsTigers. They'll get up and play it back. They're getting a
God, I thought he was going to score again. That's worth 8 points.
Yeah. I don't know. It must have cut that one wrong. Trust our captain. There were so many tries. I mean, our wingers scored, 3 tries before this, but it got pulled back for forward passes. It just finally it came out of Appy just carving them up the middle and next to the post.
Yeah, it's almost always going to be Appy who finds a way to get some momentum back into the game, and that was just the most Appy try that he could ever score. I love that he pointed at Jake, who was offside, ran straight at him, got the set restart, but didn't care and managed to get through the rest of them and to score under the post. Like, that was as Appy as it gets. That's his smarts. That's why I think it's going to be really important him working with Jerome next year to continue to build combinations, because they can do some real damage together, those two, considering they had that connection at Penrith as well.
And they also, Aaron, it just shows that our forwards were getting on top too, because Alex Twal had made a really good run to get a 6 again. And then Fanua Bolle, scattered those Manly defenders, Nathan Brown and Jake Trbojevic, and they were in no man's land by the time Bolle played the ball. And it was just, always going to be the green light there for Appy to just go. And as you said, he pointed out Jake's offside and he kind of backed off a little bit and he was straight through and scored.
I tell you what, though, if they had stopped Appy there, that would probably have been a sin bin right then and there, because that would have been so blatantly deliberate to stop him from scoring a try. You probably couldn't argue it.
Yeah.
I think we had enough bins, but not long after.
Then it goes across, ends up with Caesar. Numbers now. Heath Mason. Oh, he reaches out. Surely he gets there. Then it goes across, ends up with Caesar. Numbers now. Heath Mason. Oh, he...
I've got the loop button on. That's why I keep doing that. Google just stepping in. Was that me? Was that my Google?
That was your Google.
Was that my? Shut up, Google. Must be a Manly fan, Google. Righto, the try there for young Heath Mason. It was nice to see Rob Young Heath get. It was a mistake that he made. Was it with a bomb or something before that? I was thinking to myself, it was good he seemed a lot more confident after scoring that try.
Yeah, look, I thought his performance was better than the one at Campbelltown. I know, like his Campbelltown numbers were a little bit better. Like I think he had 175 metres last week against South, where against Manly he had 150. But I just thought it was a more solid performance. That bomb you're talking about, Josh, look, he made a meal of it, but at least he attacked the ball. I mean, he never looked like coming down with it. But look, that's obviously something he's got to work on. But he did so many good things in that game. Even when he got smashed by Olakau'atu, like he'd actually caught a kick and beaten Jason Saab and got around him and made a break that actually earned, the right to get shoulder charged by Olakau'atu there. But look, that try that he scored there, he slid over, and that was a really good backline movement that went from one end to the other. Started with Charlie Stone as a dummy half and went through the hands with Galvin and all the boys, and then obviously Caesar took it to the line before giving it to Mason, and it didn't look like he was going to get there. And lucky he was a little bit dewy on the ground, and he slid over and made sure he didn't, promote the ball and do a double movement. And suddenly we're back in the game. And then, as we've said many times and heard many times in the last few days, Leichhardt Oval was rocking and rolling.
Sure was. But when this happened, it was next.
Then it goes to Fainu. He gets it away to Seyfarth. Oh, they open right up. Alex Seyfarth without a hand laid on him.
All right, loop button turned off. But that one probably would have been nice to loop. I reckon I've watched the replay of that one more than any other try. Seen Big Red basically go through. Luke Brooks left a hole a Titanic could have gone through there under the post at Leichhardt, roaring. That was, and put us in the lead within... it was just after half-time, wasn't it? So it was 18-16 at half-time, so just after half-time. And just like that, we're in the lead as.
Yeah, it was a really good try, and I think that was probably one of Latu's first touches after he came on as well, because I think he'd only just entered the game, because the second sin bin had only just happened, and Caesar, I think it was, went off the field around that time too. So
Correct.
It was one of his first touches, and it was an absolute beauty, and he just put Big Red probably through the biggest hole he'll ever see in his life, and he scored probably the easiest try he'll ever score in his life.
Riffs in the comments there. He on our Patreon Discord is the official Alex Seyfarth fan club manager. So as soon as he scored, I went straight to the Discord to make sure that Riff over in Miami there was awake and watching the game, because that was
I checked the same thing.
Hell of a try.
Discord.
Yeah.
You could have been forgiven for thinking that was Marshall to Ellis, couldn't you?
It was very Marshall to Ellis like. Yeah. If Ellis had no melanin. Your thoughts, Rob, on that one?
Yeah, look, honestly, that's probably... Look, for me, I had two highlights in the game, and I think that Latu pass just gave me goosebumps, because I know how good this guy is going to be. And as Aaron mentioned, he only just came on the field during that whole process of checking whether Olakau'atu was going to go to the sin bin or not, because Aiden Caesar hurt his shoulder. But look, that's what we've got to come for years and years, and he's such a good egg. The only one that got near Seyfarth was Appy Coruscant to ankle tap him after he scored a try. And just while I did mention there was another highlight there, my other favourite highlight was when we turned the ball over and Kula was running back with the ball, and Fata Ape and Alamelo just showed a lot of smarts, lifted him up, threw him over the sideline, and that just absolutely got the whole crowd up on its feet. And that was, even though it wasn't a try, that was really crucial at the time, because we ended up getting the ball back and then scoring from the ensuing set. And I really thought that sort of gang tackle on him to get him over the sideline was just absolutely massive, and really hasn't been spoken about on the socials at all.
Yep, for sure. And then, not long after...
Appy, long pass, left side, Fainu, Galvin's kick. It's stopped by Garrick. It's picked up by Latu Fainu. He's going to score.
So, young Latu getting the try. I think, was that Latu's first try this year?
Yes, it was. It's his first try ever. Yep.
So because I remember thinking at that point all three Fainus had now scored a try for the WestsTigers. These brothers proving, all three of them can't. I think they're instantly fan favorites. These brothers.
Yeah, the way they've come in and kind of worked together, even if they haven't all been playing together at the same time, has been really good to see. And they seem to go to another level when all three of them are in the same team. And like even in the game that we lost against the Rabbits, they still looked really good together. And this was just a real opportunist try for Latu. He put the kick in. It was knocked on or played at or whatever by one of the Manly players. And if the Manly player who was near him dived on it, it would have been offside. Like a deliberate offside, and we may have gone for 2 at that point, but good thing that Latu picked it up and managed to get through it. It was great. It was really, really good, and I was so happy for him, and the crowd just went ballistic again.
Rob?
Yeah, look, obviously they were, the Fainu boys would have been happy that happened against their former team in Manly, and you could see Sam Weller come in from a mile away to join in the celebrations. Look, I mean, that was actually a Galvin kick that obviously ricocheted, as Aaron mentioned, and Latu picked it up. But I think we should just compliment, Galvin's kicking game always isn't, a great sort of feature of his game. But he put in a really dangerous kick in the first half near the corner post that we almost scored from. He did a kick that hit the post where Aiden Caesar probably should have scored from, but never got the ball down. This kick obviously led to a try, and obviously you'll go on to the next try for Fatahape, which is again off a Galvin kick, although it seems like he might not have dropped the ball the way he was meant to drop it, but who cares? He put the kick in the right place and he got the bounce and Fatahape scored. So credit to Lockie Galvin for a much improved kicking game and just his general kicks downfield. They've got a bit of oomph about him now, and we get into a decent field position. So look, again, for his first year, this kid's going to be something special. I just hope he's a Tiger for life.
It's last play West. Mason's at dummy half. Galvin is 20 metres out. He kicks across.
That's a great kick.
Sits up awkwardly. Tape gets there for West and scores.
Yeah, watching it back, I thought he did it on purpose. I thought it was a beautiful, perfect banana kick that he purposely. A lot of people were saying that. I don't know. I watched the replay a few times, watching his hands. I saw someone mention the ball had a lot of sticky spray or something on it. That's why he rotated the ball more than he wanted. But when I watched it, I thought he actually meant to twist the ball and put a Andrew Johns banana on it. Do you reckon he did it on purpose, or do you reckon it was just fortunate?
I honestly don't think we'll ever know if he did it on purpose. He was asked about it by the Channel 9 crew post game, and he claims that he meant to do it, but I don't know. I think Cameron Smith might have been able to see through him. But regardless, it was a really, really good kick, and whether or not he meant it, I think he didn't personally. I think it just kind of fell awkwardly, like he said. A bit of the sticky stuff, kind of probably was still gripping the ball to his hand, and he couldn't get it away properly. But in the end, it worked out as best as it possibly could. Like the way Solomona was able to get over the Manly players there in defence and pluck that ball from the sky and plant it down. That was a really great try.
As much as the bounce, the banana action of basically making the ball spin, kind of like a Shane Warne flipper almost, that made the ball basically spin faster to get to the ground before a player can get it. It was perfect. I'm backing him. I reckon it was legit.
It worked out perfectly, Josh. But let's be fair. Cooler should have tried to catch it on the full. Even Brooksy should have tried to catch it on the full instead of trying to run a blocker. So you look, at the end of the day, the ball went in a spot that was awkward for Manly, and they screwed up. And we took advantage of it. And how many times does that happen to us, in reverse? So, look, the ball bounced in the right spot. Our players chased really hard. The ball bounced over Kohler's head. And Fatahape was there to ground the ball. And again, I just thought the enthusiasm, the chase, the desperation, the intent of the players all night, no matter who was on the field, every player had a really good moment. And they tried their hardest for 80 minutes, even in those periods where, it all wasn't going well for them. They never dropped their heads. They kept up the the spirit and the drive, and we got the points in the end.
But Tom, to lead looking very good here, but as the West Tigers do, they don't do anything easy. Tommy Trbojevic, I should know Serbian names by now. They Serbian or Croatian? The Trbojevic, they're Serbian, aren't they?
I'm not sure.
Anyone? Someone in the comments help me out. I think they're Serbian. We had the ball with, I think it was about 40 seconds to go. Smartly got it all the way to the other end, and looks like we're just going to get held on the last, handed over, but Samuel Afena.
And now it's with Papali'i. Perfect. And now Papali'i. Oh, he gets the pass away to Sam Fainu. He's going to score. Yes. Sam Fainu scores. He scores. And Sam Fainu scores. And it's going to be a West Tigers historic victory. West's 34. Manly 26.
The McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. Triple M footy lives on listener. Catch all our games, interviews, replays, and more. That's LISTNR.
Yeah, I thought I'd leave the plug in for Triple M there because they sent us through the clips. Shouts to, speaking of Triple M, chatting to Woodsy today. They're doing the rush hour at Spoon Bowl next week. So literally doing a outside broadcast at Campbelltown with their show before the call at 6:00. And Woodsy said he's going to get around interviewing fans around the ground. So that'll be quite interesting there. But back to this one, to where we beat Aaron Woods' Sea Eagles. Rob, that last try by Sanuela, what a feeling. The relief by the crowd going off. Just a cherry on top.
Yeah, look, it was. I mean, it was relief knowing he'd scored. I'll play bad cop and let Aaron be good cop on this one. I kind of hate the try. I exactly what you said before you played that little clip there. I'm thinking we're just going to put that ball in the corner, take the tackle. There'll be 25, 30 seconds left. And, there's no way Manly's going to score, with that much time on the clock and going 90 metres. So for Lockie to throw a bullet pass that nearly took Papali'i's chest off, and then for Papali'i to even attempt to throw the ball, I was like, instantly like cursing. But then obviously when Samuela got the ball, he did the spin, got over the try line, and all that bad stuff was forgotten. But just, thinking ahead and thinking to games, hopefully next year where we're in the finals hunt and stuff like that, you don't want to be throwing those mad passes like Galvin did there onto Papali'i that could have ricocheted off his chest, bounced into Garrick's hand, unloads to Saab, and Saab runs 90 metres. Like, there's just no need to be pushing the play in that moment. And, I hate to be a killjoy, but that's just me wanting our team to be the best and the smartest it can possibly be. But Samuela certainly did nothing wrong. He tucked the ball under the arms. He wasn't going to let it go. And he was like, well, screw this. I'm going to score a try anyway. So, look, it was definitely a relief. But for 2 or 3 seconds there, my head was just going, WTF, because we're going to find another way to lose the game. Like, the ball was never going to get dropped. But again, it was such a hard pass. It was a really good catch from Papali'i. And then I thought Papali'i's going to take it. And then he decides to do an around the corner pass. I'm like, fuck me. Come on, man. Like, we have enough heart attacks as West Tigers supporters. Just take the tackle. And, if they score from 95 metres, good luck to them. But, Aaron, you can be the nice guy about this try.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you a little bit there. The other concern I had at that point was if it goes horribly wrong and we give them 7 tackles from the 20, then we've just given them an escape and the potential of a quick tap if we're not back on side. And
they wouldn't have got 7 tackles, though.
They wouldn't have got 7 tackles with 25, 30 seconds. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is they would have gotten the 20-meter tap part if we weren't on side. Tom Trbojevic potentially could have made a run for it, and as could Jason Saab. So there's a lot of pace in that Manly backline, and that would have been the last thing we wanted to do. But I'm just glad it stuck, because, otherwise that could have potentially ended a lot worse. I said to the Lucky Charm when Tom scored his second try of his hat-trick, this is why we get nervous. Like, this is why we can't be confident as Tigers fans, because we always know something like this is going to happen. And we were back in heart attack mode, but yeah, we held on. Really great try. I was really happy that 2 of the 3 Fainu scored. It would have been awesome if we could have had the Fainu treble.
Yeah. Oh, what would that be paying on ChaseBet? I have to look that up. Just a quick comment before we move on. Obnoxious CNT asked why no vision? Because the NRL do not let you use vision in any capacity. It's like Facebook. YouTube would pull us down. You'll find that on YouTube very rarely are there any NRL footage. They're very, very strict with their footage, and if you use it anywhere, like I've put stuff on Facebook before and it's gone within a couple of minutes. So the NRL, who are trying to sell the game to the entire world, they don't let you play their vision on a podcast or on YouTube. So unfortunately, yeah, the radio will have to suffice for now because I don't have $1 billion to buy TV rights. It's very annoying. I know the NBA, the NFL are like this. They're really strict with it, whereas the NBA are like, go for your life. You can see NBA highlights absolutely everywhere because the NBA are like, play our stuff, show our highlights, but not the NRL. So hopefully, I don't know.
It's great for them because it gives them more exposure.
You would think so. You would
Wider
think
audience.
so. Yep, but we're not allowed to. We're not. All they care about really is the guys paying the $1.6 billion TV deals, I guess. So yeah, Fox and Channel 9 can, yeah, they get all the rights to it, and us little guys can't even show a try from our beloved team on YouTube, unfortunately. So Jamie said they don't want to show referee blunders. I know we'd be cutting up a lot of referee highlights as well.
We would be doing that too, wouldn't we?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I've used Graham Annesley's face before. They didn't bring that down. They seem to be fine with that. Righto, player ratings. Look at this. Benji Marshall. Is it too late for Coach of the Year for Benji Marshall? So
he gets big ticks this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, very very right leaning there. It's so right leaning. Yeah, might be someone on a slope roof trying to take him out. Righto, this might be a record with the player ratings. We have 5 players with 100% rating. So Lockie, Big Red, Samuela, Latu, and Appy all getting 100% as.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I honestly found this game probably the toughest I've ever had to give a 3-2-1 on, just because so many players played well. There are a couple there I'm surprised didn't score higher. I feel like Alex Twal probably could have scored a little bit higher than 85% because his stint for us in that game was one of his best ever, I reckon. The way he came on and really changed the momentum of the game in our favour. And because I don't think Manly scored any points while he was on either, because he comes on and he shores up the defence, and yeah, they just weren't making the breaks that they were doing prior to that, especially that first of Tom Trebojevich's 3 tries where they just went straight up the guts. If Twal was there, I don't think they get that because Twal doesn't miss that, or hardly ever misses that sort of tackle. So I reckon he's a little bit hard done by. Looking at the rest of the list, Fanua Pole, I mean, 2 people out there didn't like Fanua Pole's game. Shame on you, whoever you are. Other than that, I feel like
Connor, your name.
Pretty good.
I'll DM Connor the names and emails of those 2 people. But Rob, what numbers?
Look, it's pretty hard for me to see on this screen, although I can see some a lot of long orange bars there. But guys, I know people have their favourites and the ones they dislike, but there were no bad guys. We had no bad players out there. The guys that you might honestly, what I like, there's certain players, I'm not going to name them, but there's certain players that are much maligned that are literally cheerleading. Their enthusiasm's infectious. Their passion's there. Their professionalism's there. They're trying to win every week. Sure, they're not, what they were in yesteryear, but, your guys like Caesar and Clemmer and those guys, they get shat on a lot. And I love what they bring to the club. And I know Clemmer's on big bucks and he might not be giving you the output of other props. But if you're trying to tell me he is not passionate about the West Tigers and he's not trying his hardest, then I don't know what you're watching. I know he can have better games, but he loves the club. He's trying his hardest. And I just don't think there was one bad player. And I just want to repeat what I said earlier. Our bench was amazing. And you showed the Benji Marshall ticks. The Benji Marshall big tick is for putting Latu Fainu on the bench in place of Talon De Silva. And it definitely was needed, because if Aiden Caesar goes off, Talon's got to come into hooker. Appy's got to go to halfback. It probably weakens two positions defensively. And Appy's obviously, not a halfback, or certainly not the halfback that Latu Fainu is. So full marks to Benji for getting that right. I still would like someone to make a comment and explain to me why Charlie Staines is playing left centre. But yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see what our team is next Tuesday. And I'll just make a confession, boys. I got the NRL notification for the team list at 4:00 today. Could not wait to see what our team was. Didn't even realise we weren't playing this week.
I did the same thing.
That's how pumped up I am about facing Parramatta.
I was on it at 3:50. I was refreshing it at 3:58. Going, oh fuck, we don't have a game.
Yeah.
One of the game this week. The season's too short.
I was past 4:00. Checked the thing, and I thought, what an idiot. Yeah, we're not playing this week. So look, it's good when we're looking forward to the team list, because I'm curious to see if that's the team we're going to name again, and if it is, will Tupu? I think maybe Tupu should stay in the centres, and Staines might have to play left wing this week, given I think we're probably better off having Alamelo on Mike Acevo in a couple of weeks from now, should he be playing on the left wing for Para.
Talbot on Facebook pointed out Luke Lolly, who I accidentally left on the list. I forgot to get Az to see this. I didn't get Az to check the list for me this week. He still got 9 votes and he didn't ever play. So maybe what I should do next year, I'll just leave the entire squad there, and then it's a test. So people obviously that just tick everyone when we win and don't tick anyone when we lose. It's a test. You got to tick. You got to actually work out who actually did play, and we'll see if they pass it. It will save time for me, because I won't have to fucking change it every single week with all the changes that Benji makes.
Haven't played.
No, I'll do better. One to go. See if I can get the last one. I think I've got the last couple ones, 17 out of 17. But who am I missing as? Can you tell off the top of your head? Some of the comments might tell me. But we've got Luke in there, and so I'm missing Fatape's.
Did you have Alamelo there if Luke's there?
Yeah, he's the top.
Alamalo's at the top.
Okay, yeah, well, I can't read any of those names.
I've got all 3 Fainus are there, Clemmers there. Who am I missing? Not sure. Move on to
Tupo.
Oh, Junior, of course. Sorry, Junior. Might be
Junior Tupu.
Sorry, Toops. Righto, negative. So only 4 for poor old Stainsy, who went off injured, and 4 for Clemmer. So maybe something similar, pretty much what you were saying before, Rob, I would say. Just reputation. So I didn't think he was that bad. The 3-2-1s, these ones on screen, I don't think accurate. I didn't have time.
No, definitely not accurate.
Yeah, no,
they're not. They're not
I can
accurate.
tell from the colour scheme.
You guys sent these to me last night. I didn't have time this afternoon to whip them up. So they are last week. I'll just move it off the screen. But Rob, who's your 3-2-1 this week?
Okay, look, I'll probably get. Look, I thought the 1 point was super duper hard to do, and I kind of maybe my negativity went to me giving this guy a vote, but I actually gave 1 point to Fata Ape. I know his numbers aren't huge. He only missed 1 tackle for the game. I just really kept a close eye on him all night, and he kept Cooler in a lock. He really didn't do much down his side. I saw his enthusiasm. I saw his kick chase. There was just a lot to like about his game. But, before I get onto the 2 and 1, I mean, obviously Seyfarth, Samuela Fainu, Latu Fainu's cameo. There were so many good efforts. Heath Mason, I thought, I nearly gave him the 1 point. I thought he was really good. My 2 points went to Lockie Galvin. I keep saying it every week, guys. This kid's going to be something special, and I'm sure Richo's working out how the hell are we going to hang on to him and what can I do to convince him to stay at the club. So I'm just hoping we have a big, first half to next year at the very least, just so we can kind of put it to bed and say, come on, mate, look, how much do you want? And let's keep you here for a long time to come. And, I tweeted this before Joseph actually said it on our fans' reaction tape. I think Appy Coruscant is now the equal, if not better than Gareth Ellis. I know it's hard to top Gareth Ellis, but Appy Coruscant is undoubtedly the best sort of external signing we've ever made. He does things that just continue to amaze me. His try is the try that got us back into the game. He doesn't say much. He leads by his actions. He rarely has a bad game. And I just think because he's in such a lowly side, he has to do more. He has to always produce his full bag of tricks. Whereas, with Penrith, with Manly, with South, he really didn't have to go too deep in his trick. He played his role and he did his job. But with us, we're actually seeing what a talented player he is. He's just got a cool nature about him. Everyone loves him at the club. He's the perfect captain for us. I just hope we can just get off 17th, Friday week, just for his sake, just for some little minor reward, for me, he's coming second last for all his efforts and everything he does. Because honestly, there's times I just think, why does he even show up? Like when we're going through those long losing streaks and he's keeps busting out the 30, 40 tackles and making breaks and playing himself to a standstill and having to be dragged off the field. He doesn't even want to be replaced. He's just the most inspirational leader you could ever want. And we are absolutely blessed to have him. And I thought he was clearly our 3 points. I didn't find that part difficult. But in terms of the 1 point, I'm sure there are a lot of people that would have had 6 or 7 other players there. And I might be wrong in putting Fata Ape there, but I've bagged the guy enough this year. And, when the guy plays a good game, I'm going to give him a rap. And he had a bloody good game. And that tackle with him and Alan Malo, that was just absolutely inspiring and really got me on my feet. So, look, a great game from all the boys. There was a team effort and the Leichhardt crowd. And the day after Benji got put in the Hall of Fame, it was just a bloody special week for the club. So well done to everyone.
I was looking up the Holden Cup. You remember we won the Holden Cup back in 2012. So I was just randomly looking at the Wikipedia for that season, as you do, on a random weekend. But I did notice something odd that I don't know if I've ever heard anyone mention. The leading leading goal scorer, so most goals, was Appy Coruscant for that season in the Holden Cup, which is crazy because no one ever thinks of him as a goal kicker. We think, oh yeah, he only kicks goals for us because we have no one else. He was the leading goal kicker in that Holden Cup season, which is crazy. You forget how long ago that was now, 12 years ago, when he was just a young pup for South Sydney Rabbitohs. And now he's, like you said, we're so blessed to have him. On Lachlan Galvin, Rob, I was thinking this the other day. How many years is too many years to give him? Like everyone's joking about a 10-year deal. And I think Taumalolo, what's the longest? I think Cherry Evans got a 7. Are they the longest?
I think Cherry Evans might have been at least 7. Maybe someone can look that up.
Yeah, Taumalolo got 10 over 10. He's 19 years old. If a 10-year deal happened, would anyone be upset? I think the only person that would be upset might be Isaac Moses, because he's probably going to be worth more than $1 million, assuming it's 10 over 10, like Taumalolo. Isaac Moses might not take it because he's probably going to be worth 1.5 within a few years.
I think it's up to the club to identify if they think they've got someone absolutely special or not. And I'm absolutely convinced that both Benji and Richo know how talented he is, how much money he's worth, and that he is one of the integral pieces for the future of our club. I've got no doubt about that. So, I look, if you're going to give Taumalolo those sort of dollars, and look, I know with Cherry Evans, they won a comp in 2011, and obviously he signed to go to the Gold Coast, backflipped on that, got that crazy, what was it, $11 million deal for 9 years or 7 years or whatever the hell it was back in those days, which is ridiculous. Like, you're talking over $1 million a year back then. So imagine what it is now. I think Lockie's worth it. I'm not being biased, guys. If Lockie Galvin played for the Roosters tomorrow, I still think he's potentially a future immortal. I know it's a big rap. I have not seen anyone.
That's the biggest of raps.
Mate, guys, I haven't seen anyone have a better first 2 games in their career ever. And
I've been watching maybe.
Not first 2 games. I've been watching footy since I was 4. I'm not going to say how old I am, but I've been watching the game a bloody long time. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I just think in terms of his first season, he would have absolutely shit in for Rookie of the Year if he didn't get suspended. I still feel if he didn't get suspended, we probably beat the Dolphins, the following week, and our season might have turned out differently. I just think every time, look, you can even see guys with the good things we do and the tries that we score. For example, perfect example is the Latu Fainu ball to Alex Seyfarth. You can see Lockie in the background, like almost throw his hands up, like, why didn't you give me the freaking ball? And then that goes out the window as soon as he sees Seyfarth run through the hole. He's always demanding the ball. He wants the ball. He wants to win. He takes the line on. He's prepared to put his body on the line. And this is a kid who's 18. Can you imagine how good he's going to be at 21 or 22? And then, if he gets to 27 and 28 and has a footy brain or footy IQ like Cooper Cronk, he's got the body that can do it. I don't think he's going to fill out and do this, Sasquatch that everyone keeps telling me he's going to fill out into and be a lock forward and be too slow and all this sort of shit. I mean, if we want to put him at lock, he's going to go somewhere else. I think he's got to stay as a 5'8". But yeah, look, I've digressed. But to answer your question, 10-year contract, I would not get the shits about. And if he gets injured, he gets injured. So be it. But he's worth that risk. And I see what a difference he makes to our team when he's in the team. And it's a lot like if we go back to the glory days, it was just like take Marshall and Farah out of the WestsTigers, and we were a totally different team. We didn't look the same team. We didn't look like we had the same energy or the same way to score points or anything like that. And he's the same. When he's out of the team, we look like shit. I am excited, though, that if Lockie is out of the team in the future, that we have Latu Fainu, that we will have Jareem Buller. We've got backups
Jerome Luai.
Jerome Luai coming in. We're going to have a little bit more X factor. We're going to have, I think Skelton's in first grade this week for Canterbury, so it'll be interesting to watch how he goes for Canterbury this week against Manly because Stephen Crichton's suspended. So look, there's and we've got Taruva coming. Like there's a lot more there, but at the end of the day, we had a lot of good outside backs when Benji and Robbie played, and when they weren't in the team, we were a different team and a much worse team. So look, yeah. I'm sure Richo would throw the book at him if he could because he's that special and I love watching him play. And I think I saw a tweet from Gus Gould last week before the Manly game, and I might have mentioned it. He said, I'm happy to call games when Lockie Galvin's there. He gets excited about it. For Gus Gould, who's watched the game and played the game and been a part of the game a lot longer than I've followed the game, to say things like that, and he's seen the best of the best, that's a really big rap for the Galvinator. So. If he gets signed up, to me as a Richmond Tigers supporter, that would be the equivalent of when Dustin Martin got the extension for the Richmond club, and Richmond went on to win 3 premierships. I feel like if we can sign Lockie Galvin, it's just going to lead to this club's going places. He trusts the club. He believes we have a future, and we're going to get players that want to play around Lockie Galvin, just like players that want to come and play around your Cooper Cronks and your Billy Slaters and all those guys. I think Lockie and Latu are going to be an attraction to play with. So I hope it happens, guys. I will be utterly devastated if he leaves the club, but it is what it is. Like life goes on and you move on with who you've got, but I just want to see him in our colours for the rest of my lifetime anyway.
For sure. It's a good point you make there that players will start to want to come play for us. Now, I think Luai already would have a big impact on that because I think a lot of guys around the league want to play with Luai. But I think for years now, I've said that we just can't get over the hump of being a place where players do want to come sign. And it's showing the players that we've talked to are all plebs. Let's not kid ourselves, but if a superstar does come on the market and we've got the money, I think we're at the point now that other players coming off contract will look at the West Tigers now and go, Luai, Galvin, like these guys can actually make me look pretty good here. So if a player does come on the market through whatever reason, we're going to be a big chance now. Whereas before it was like they're just not going to sign. They'll take less money to go elsewhere. And I know that sounds pretty dumb because Papali'i's leaving and Steph's off to Melbourne, but I think we are at the stage now. I think free agents will start looking at the West Tigers and go, I want to play with these kids. Maybe even younger generation coming through as well.
I think, Josh, I think a couple of players have jumped the gun a bit because I'll tell you right now, I think when you have mass changes to a squad, I think it's very hard to gel quickly and instantly make the finals next year. But if you told me right now we've signed Steph, Papali'i and Bateman for next year, and I know Bateman's had his issues with, discipline and what have you, but if you told me we had those three blokes for next year, given who's coming to the club, given how some of these kids that have played the last back end of the season, like your Sione Fainus, what's that guy? The Tim Johansson.
Oh, Johansson.
Yeah, like just these guys that look like they can play. Like I just think if we had those three guys, I would say we are a lock for the top 8 next year. Like I really would. So if we can get 3 players that are the equivalent of that, which I don't think is possible, to be fair, but if we can get maybe 3/4 of that caliber or thereabouts and buy into the club and want to have a go, we still might make the finals. But it's just a shame that Steph wanted to jump ship. Bateman spat the dummy because he just hates freaking losing. And I maybe it's a bit of a mutual thing with the club. I think the club should have kept Papali'i. He still has a reasonable work rate. He's still busting out 35 tackles. Created that try assist, that I didn't like for Samuel Afenu for the last try. Like, he's still got ability there. So I just think a few people have just jumped a little bit early thinking, there's no hope there. And I just wish they could have, made a different decision. But again, that's their business. And, like someone goes and another person comes in and hopefully these young kids coming through can, take those spots and make them their own. And we add a few pieces to it. But I just think we are finishing. I know it sounds crazy because they're sort of dead rubbers, or as I've called them before, beating South and Manly and what have you. But, if we beat Parramatta, I know it has no effect on the competition next year, but it's got to give you a lot of confidence in the preseason, give you a little bit of extra motivation, extra spring in your step. You know what you've got to work on. A lot of these players know, shit, I'm only 18 or 19 or 26 and I've only had a handful of games. I'm going to be so much better next year with a full preseason. We need a much bigger off-season, in terms of fitness as well, Josh. We need to be a lot fitter, and get up to the levels of the Melbournes and Penriths of the world. I just think there's a lot to look forward to. And it's crazy that, that we're sitting in last place now and we're saying that. But, I don't think 6 or 7 wins is a great season. I know it's a step up from 4, but the bar was very low. Like, we shouldn't be saying, oh, yeah, we've won 6 games or 7 games. What a great season. It's just still a shit season. It's just like, I've dropped a bit of weight. I've just gone from morbidly obese to obese. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean you're still not shit if you're coming last or second last. We've got a lot to improve on, but there's a lot of talent there, and it just needs to be molded and gelled well. And it's look at the crowds we're getting, guys, and we're coming last. Like, we're going to pack out every home ground next year, given the excitement we've got coming in that back line. We just need to make some astute purchases. I really don't want Jack Bird, but if that's the way they go, that's the way they go. We'll just hope he can bust out 12 or 13 games out of 27, because that's about his average per year, isn't it?
Comment here, Dougie, on the YouTube said, if these kids have shown their potential earlier, would we have even considered signing Luai? Luai's going to make these kids better. We're going to have Luai and Appy, 2 spine players from 2. Did Appy win 2 premierships with Penrith?
3.
2 before.
2 with Penrith, 1 with South.
Yeah, so he's won 3. Luai's won 3, possibly a 4th, and then they lost 1 to the Storm. So these 2 guys with these kids, they're going to make these kids even better. Like, they're going to go to training and show them how it's done. They're going to put smarts and teach them. Like Luai coming next year, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, where are we going to fit?" We'll work that out. We'll work out. But Luai is a winner, man. He's going to come. His experience is in his prime, and he's just going to refuse to lose. And he's going to teach these kids a lot of football lessons. And yeah, it's just going to be good for them. So people saying, "Oh, we don't need Luai." That's jumping the gun. You can't have all kids.
I think it's a fair question though, Josh, because if you'd asked me this 6 months ago, I probably would have said the same thing. But in the last 6 months, we saw Cleary get injured. We saw how Luai could be a great game manager and still have that X factor about him. We saw a good kicking game there. And also, like, we didn't realise that Latu Fainu is going to be first grade ready at the age of 18. Like, see, the way I look at the Tigers situation now, and it's like not being negative about Galvin, because I kind of wish he was already extended, but obviously we can't get it done. I feel like Latu Fainu is the backup option now for Galvin. If Galvin leaves, then the halves are going to be Latu and Luai. Okay, that's because we've still got Latu for another 3 years. And Lockie's there for 2 years. And if Lockie decides at the end of next year he's going elsewhere, then so be it. But if we do keep Galvin, then we do have a dilemma with Latu Fainu, because he's not going to be wanting to play second fiddle, and he's going to have offers being thrown out for a kid with that much talent. He's got a good kicking game. He can throw a beautiful pass, and he's a pretty solid defender as well. So,
oh, we've lost Rob somehow. Right in the middle of a rant, we lost you there, Rob.
Oh, how long did you lose me for?
Only a second, literally a couple of seconds.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, look, at the end of the day, I just think Latu Fainu is going to take Lockie's place should Lockie go anywhere. But hopefully Lockie stays, and then we just have to worry about, well, how do we use Latu Fainu if Jerome Luai's there? But that question that was put up, if you asked me 6 months ago, I would have said, yeah, why have we signed Luai? Like, I know he brings confidence and culture and a really good, sort of positivity to a camp. But knowing that you got Latu Fainu and Lockie Galvin, what they can do, yeah, you'd say, why would you get him? But seeing what Luai's done this year, I'm glad he's coming to our club.
Did we get your 3-2-1 yet? That was like 17 minutes ago, I think.
Yeah, no, you haven't gotten mine yet.
And I'm looking forward to them too, Aaron, because I know we always go different ways.
Well, yeah, we pretty much have. I had 7 or 8 players I wanted to fit into my votes, and I could obviously only put 3 of them in. So Appy, for one, has missed out. I haven't been able to squeeze Appy in. I gave my one to Latu.
I'm tuning out. See ya.
Yep. So Latu got my one. I thought just his instant impact on the game from when he came on was outstanding. And considering he didn't play in the first half and he was limited to just second half minutes, I thought it was a really, really solid performance from him. And I thought I'd give him the 1. I gave Alex Seyfarth the 2. I thought his stint in the game was really good as well. Obviously, he scored a really good try, a really easy try. But he ran hard and he tackled hard. And offensively and defensively overall, it was a much better game than some of his other recent games. And shout out to Riff Raff as well. Red 99 comes through again, where when he runs more than 99 meters in a game, we win. That would be 7 out of 8 times now, I think. So great game for him. And I gave my 3 to Lockie. Like you guys have been saying, he's just the future of this club. Potential future immortal. I just love watching this kid play, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he grows his game next year with Jerome Luai. If there's one thing, though, I'd have to say about Lockie that's a little bit of a concern, but I know he'll grow out of this in time. It's throwing the Hail Mary or the Wonder Ball or the Miracle Ball when we have a player advantage, because if that doesn't work, they get the ball back. And the last thing we want is the opposition to have the ball when they're a player down, because that's when they're more desperate. So he needs to, I think, manage those parts of the game a little bit better, play a little bit more sensible when we've got the advantage, and kind of just try to keep possession. And I feel like having Jerome next year will be something that really helps him improve that aspect of his game.
Rob, you got to write down 27th of August, 2024, because if he does become an immortal, we can come back to this episode and we'll
Mate, get a hashtag.
Probably
He's
probably
like
20, 30 years away, but hopefully YouTube.
He's the best young kid I've seen in a long time. Best young kid. The best young kid I ever saw, I think, was Greg Alexander at schoolboy level. This guy's not far behind that.
As stats man for this week.
Nice, easy one this week. Back on the topic of hopefully we can get our first 3 wins in a row since 2018 when we beat it was the Eels, the Storm, and Manly in rounds 4, 5, and 6. And that one actually was at Brookie, so we don't win there much, but that was a really good one there that year. We haven't won 3 games in a row since then, and we've got a genuine chance to do it now. This is my little hype up for Spoon Bowl before we get there. This is basically our grand final. We have the advantage of coming into the game with a bit of a rest, while Parramatta have had to play a few more games than us. So we'll be well rested. We basically have one game, one opportunity, or the club has one game, one opportunity to show the fans that there has been drastic improvement, and we have an opportunity to hand the wooden spoon to Parramatta on a silver platter, thanks to their loss to the Broncos. And we aren't in this position if we don't get those earlier 2 wins that we've gotten in the last 2 weeks. So, I'm just really excited for this game. Can't wait to get out there. Massive shout out to the AFL for not scheduling the Sydney Derby qualifying final on the same night. Very grateful for that, so I can go to both. But yeah, this is going to be a hell of a game. I'm really looking forward to this. Hopefully we get a massive crowd out there. I'm just really excited to think that regardless of whether or not we win or lose the game, I feel like there's a lot of growth in there. And we're in a position now where Jerome's coming into a team that has shown improvement. It'll be just so much better for the players in particular the players who are still going to be here next year, to have that momentum of 3 wins in a row, not last, and actually possibly even 15th. Come on, Penrith, and come on, Roosters. Absolutely towel up Souths for us. That'd be great. And it'll be really good. And by the way, everyone, the NRL does the live ladder now on the NRL app. So as soon as the round kicks off on Thursday night between the Cowboys and the Storm, check your NRL app ladder, because we will not be 17th. We will be 16th, because our 2 points get added right at the start of the round, and it'll be great to see Parramatta down there.
Stats man at it again. We've mentioned Riff a lot tonight, but another good comment by him. He said at the Discord, Spoon Bowl has the ability to be the catalyst the World Sevens was in 2004. That's a good shout there.
It's surprising Parramatta haven't rested 10 players this week.
Yes, we beat Parramatta in the final, didn't we? 2004.
I don't remember.
I think it was Parramatta that we beat in the final of the World Sevens.
In the Sevens, yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, there you go. History repeating. Right, stats-wise, 54% possession for the Tigers, 33 out of 34, so 70, bang on 3/4 for the completion rate. Not great, but 67% for the Manly Sea Eagles. That's atrocious, disgusting from the Sea Eagles. Post-contact meters, we were an extra 140, as you said, Rob. Our forwards kicked their ass, which is pretty good, considering, there's not like they're, like Jake Turbo's a Origin captain on the other side. So tackle breaks 39 to 27. What else we got? Offloads 5 to 2. Only 2 offloads the whole night from Manly. Did they even want to play? Who knows? Dummy passes 28 to 2. They couldn't even throw dummy passes. The Eagles didn't know what they were doing. They completely forgot how to play rugby league, apart from Tommy Turbo. What else we got? No forced dropouts. We have 90% effective tackle, only 85 for them. 39 missed tackles for Manly, 27 for us, which is against South. We're in the 40s, weren't we? It was the 50s.
Yeah, but we've still got to we've got to be better defending those backline shapes. I just felt like every time Manly went wide, even when they had 12 on 13, and obviously, like, you know, just before Sam Weller's try, if Tom Trebojevic doesn't drop that ball, Saab's going to give it inside to Garrick or DCE for the winning try. Like, we're just so lucky that Turbo dropped that ball in the end. But as you said too, Josh, we bombed a few tries in the first half, and there was a bit of a turning point against us in the second half. That forward pass from Hopewadi that got ruled a goal line drop out at 30-16. That's when they started making their comeback. That should have been our ball, and Manly should never have scored from that set. So look, it goes both ways in a game sometimes, but yeah, just we've got to be better with our backline defence. We're just too easily stripped of numbers, and that maybe we've got to come up with a new system or do something next year. But yeah, Johnny Morris, get to work, mate.
Shouts to Belinda Sharp again. She was on the touchline calling forward passes. Look, she called us for a couple. We can't really be salty with her calling those after she got us with the Rabbitohs last week. So 15 errors by the Seagulls. That has to be up there, like the high. Like, has a team beaten that recently? 15 in a game. As we had 12.
I'd have to go through and look it up.
I thought you'd know it off by heart.
No, that's not something I really pay attention to. But I mean, I don't think it's the worst completion percentage of the season. That's for sure. So,
okay. Meters gained. Lachlan Galvin ran 204 meters. This is a 5'8". That's 19 years old, and he ran 204. Did he? I'm trying to think
how many runs did he make?
Yeah, it's not like that he had a 90-meter intercept.
No, he must have. I don't know how many runs he had, but he must have had 25 runs to get those sort of numbers.
I'm looking it up now.
Heath Mason had 150. Fanua Pole 148 were the next highest.
All three of those guys were fantastic. They really were.
23 runs, Rob.
Yeah.
46 post-contact meters as well.
Yeah, that's
a 19-year-old. Unbelievable.
He's only just recently 19 as well.
15-year contract.
His 19th birthday was like not even 6 weeks ago or something.
He might be an immortal at 29. Post-contact meters, Samuela with 70. Line breaks, 6 different players had one line break. Couldn't be bothered naming all of them. Hit-ups, 14 for Papa. Papa Lee, we haven't really talked about apart from that offload at the end. He definitely, despite signing with Penrith, he could have put the Q in the rack. Shouts to him. He keeps on fighting. Tackle breaks. Heath Mason, we talked a little bit about him, but yeah, he's quite a player as well. So yeah, we're getting to the stage now that we're really finding some talent. It's just a shame that they all seem to be in similar positions. Lockie led with offloads. He had 2. The only player with more than one offload. Tackle-wise, Big Red had 39, 5 missed. Appy had 35, 11 missed. Samuela had 26 and 8 missed.
I've got to be honest. Marshall. I think that 11 missed tackles was why I kind of stayed away from giving Appy points, but I still really wanted to.
Yeah, I just watched the mini before we came on air, Aaron, and Cooper Cronk said when the Tigers win, Appy's always in your top 3. so that kind of made me feel a bit better. But let's defend Samuela's 8 missed tackles there too, because he got thrown into the centres when Alamelo came off, and there was a reshuffle there, and he was just not looking comfortable at all defensively there, and fair enough.
And that was when they started to make their comeback towards the end when they were running at him down his side of the field.
Yeah, they just carved us every time down there. If Saab catches any one of those 3 or 4 passes that he dropped, I mean, it's game over.
Even though a couple of them were forward, and I don't think they were going to be called forward.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Josh was talking about Belinda Sharp there. I think it's not Belinda Sharp's fault, but I just think in general, if the referees don't call those forward passes that are 2 to 3 meters out from, a team scoring, you're not going to get the touch judge to score them, because if you guys watch closely, when the wingers are getting near the sideline, the touch judges actually stay back about 10 meters out, and they're trying to focus on the line and the corner post to make a decision. And maybe they've got to change the way they referee those instances, because really, at the end of the day, we don't need them to call whether the ball's out or grounded or whatever, because we're going to go to the video replay anyway and we can check it there. But they're not in line with the play anymore because they're staying back to check the sideline. So
Bring
I think
back the second ref.
Yeah, you can kind of, we're a little bit unlucky that Staines' pass was called forward to Junior too, because I thought that was very, very close to being backwards, if not line ball. But again, you're never going to get a touch judge standing right in line and calling that. That's always going to be the referee's call now because the touch judges stay back to watch the sideline.
Man, it's lucky we don't have a game in the preview this week. We probably would have gone for 2 hours. Here's Benji in the press conference. Let's start with this one.
Yeah, my hair's falling out. No, seriously, just the way we started, I thought we had real good intent. We just missed our mark defensively and our process a little bit. But I felt like we were still sort of on top there. And then after Uppy scored that try, it sort of gave us a bit of confidence and a bit of momentum. And from there on, we're pretty solid. And I just love at the back end, they're a great side. The strike they have in their team, pushing the top four, they're tough to defend, and for us to fight to the death there like that at home in front of our crowd who have been amazing all year, I just told them, just so proud of them.
Yeah. Rob, do you think Benji's improved as the year has gone on?
Look, I don't have any doubt his man management skills are there, that you can see the enthusiasm in the squad's always been there. I think there's rarely been a game where I can say the boys have turned it up. I did mention the Newcastle game. I thought, half the team or a little bit more were going through the motions, but it's very rare that you see a West Tigers team not have a go. I just think they, at times we lack polish, we lack IQ, we lack discipline, and I got a bit frustrated with Benji, saying week after week it's on me when he got questioned about the discipline, because at the end of the day, well, if your players keep being ill-disciplined, what are you doing about it? So it was actually a really good little win for Benji that we weren't on the wrong side of discipline this week, and Manly had 3 players sent to the sin bin. Let's face it, guys, our former Tiger, Taniela Paseka, he was the one that should have been sent off, not even sin bin. That was as bad as I've seen. And poor old number 18, whatever his name was, Corey Waddell, I mean, he got sent to the sin bin, and just because he got the first little fist that, wouldn't have knocked over a mosquito. So, I just think, look, Benji's getting there. If Benji has the pride to let a technical assistant come in and just give us a little bit more guidance with our defence and polish up some individual skill, I think we can be a really good team. But I want players at our club to become better players, and I know they're going to become better people under Benji. He's got that father figure thing he's trying to do, and very much like the Wayne Bennett stuff. But again, I just want to see a team freaking win, boys. We haven't been in the finals since 2011. So I just want guys to play smart and be better. And I want to be able to say this time next year, for example, that Sione Fainu is a better forward this year than he was, this time last year, sort of thing. So as long as we see guys improving and progressing and not going backwards, then I'll be happy. But I don't want to see, some blokes looking the same as they did in, 2022 as they might be in 2025. We've just got to be moving forward as a club and keep pushing. But I tell you what, like I said, with the depth we got now in the spine positions, and especially in the backs to a degree, they're all going to be pushing for spots and keeping each other honest. We just need a little bit of competition in the forwards now, so that they can keep pushing, because we've had a first grade team that's coming last most of the year, and then our New South Wales Cup team's coming last. So it's really hard for Benji to say, well, hang on, you guys are out, I'll put these blokes in if the Cup team aren't performing. So I just hope he can get everyone to improve, and maybe we need to get some staff below Benji that, can develop some of these players as well. I don't know who's there and, whether they're the right people or not, but I'm just saying he just needs a lot of help. To be given the worst team in the comp and expect him to perform miracles is a really tough ask. But, I tell you what, the way we're finishing the season, boys, it's, a lot of the comments that you'll read out later, Josh, I mean, the ones that aren't being read, everyone was just saying how much hope they've got for next year and bring on 2025, can't wait for next year. And that sort of stuff really warms your heart. And that's what we need as a fan base. We want hope and genuine belief that we can improve. And we've definitely got the talent there, guys. It's just a matter of are we going to be better next year or not? And can we get the right pieces to fit with what we've already got?
Tom on Facebook mentioned we haven't really talked about the sin bins yet. Look, the first one we didn't even, I think it was 0-0. I don't think we even scored.
No, the first one was 16-12, Josh.
Yeah, 16-12.
It was 16-12. It was for repeated infringements on what's the guy's name, Aaron? I've just had a mental block. Bullymore. Yeah, Ethan Bullymore. He just got sent off. It wasn't a bad tackle. It was just like, I've had enough of 6 agains and penalties. You're off. I think
they'd been given the warning when we scored our second try when they were in the in goal, and they continued to infringe. So yeah.
And someone told me, by the way, I don't know if it's true, if anyone can verify it, that's the first win we've had under that referee, whatever his name was, in his NRL refereeing career. I think we've lost every game under that bloke prior to the other night. The other sin bin of Ola Kawadu, I thought, I'll be honest, I didn't think it was a sin bin. I don't even know if it was a penalty. Like if it's an illegal tackle, then it's a sin bin. But I don't think it was an illegal tackle. And I love the fact that Heath Mason didn't, put on an Academy Award performance. He got up straight away. He didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but they still put him to the bin. And then who was the third? Yeah, the third one should have been Paseka. We have spoken about that. I don't think that should have been Corey Waddell, but we could have created history like we normally do and had 2 players go for the one hit because they were both high. But I think Paseka is absolutely blessed that he didn't go to the bin. And did he get cited at all? Like he should have got a suspension for what he did there. I don't even know how he escapes with all that.
Let's go one more Benji clip because we might run 2 hours because we're still got to do.
Oh, he is a great young kid. Very silky with the ball.
We won
tough in defense.
3 hours.
Never shirks his responsibility. Like just injury wise, we've just held him back a little bit to make sure that he is right to go. And with a full preseason under his belt next season, it'd be good for him. But you got to remember he's 18, and it takes time. And when his time's right, again, like he showed tonight, he was good.
I thought he was 19. Is he 18? He's talking about Galvin.
Is he talking about Galvin or Latu?
I thought it was about Galvin, this clip. That's what I labelled it as.
Galvin's 19. I think Latu is as well.
Yeah, Latu's the one we've brought on slowly because he's had those hamstring issues. We've been worried about that. And I think he was ready to play 80 a week or 2 ago. Then he got injured or had that head knock. So I think this was his first opportunity that he would have been able to play 80 if we'd have dropped Caesar, for example. But yeah, I think he's ready now, and I'm sure he'll be named starting halfback for Friday week.
All right, next round we can skip all those because there is no next round. It's a bye. Next round, your best comments. So I'll read out yours, Rob, because you probably can't see.
Correct.
So
Thank you.
Rob picked Zach and Jack this week. So Zach said, Latu showed us why he was the highest rated junior coming through the grades. I really hope we build our club around the Fainu. They are so good. The Fainai, I believe, is the collective term. Jack said that game was proof the talent is there, but until we fix our conditioning, we're cooked. Between minute 20 and minute 60, we were the better side. But even 13v12, we're the team that was gassed. Boys should be doing sandwiches every day from December 1 to February 1. Lights were too bright for Brooksy. Classic. As you write to a couple of essays for your ones, you want me to read them? How's the throat going?
Yeah, Rob was saying a 3-hour podcast. I'd say my throat would disagree with that. If you could do mine today, that'd be great.
All right. So you've gone Liam and Steve. Liam said, if this is a dream, don't wake me up. We finally got the referee to give us some calls rather than the Tigers being punished above and beyond everyone else. Richo, I don't care what you need to do. We must keep Galvin at the club at all costs. I also love seeing Raff doing a shoey on Fox after the big red try. Great win, and we just need one more. I thought he was in Miami. Did he do a shoey? Someone filming in as
someone did a shoey, but I don't know who it was.
Yeah, someone in the crowd did a shoey, and it was really funny. They showed it on Channel 9, and yeah, it was just It was down in front of where we were sitting too in the bottom area, Josh. So it wasn't riff-raff, but maybe it looked like him, I think.
Yeah. Steve said, I believe from this performance that the center of excellence must be achieving the required results. What do you fellas think? I genuinely noticed improvement in the most players' performance the last few games. Also, great spirit in the club, considering players are leaving us spoon contenders. Tigers to thrive in 2025. I don't know if the center of excellence. How long have we had it now? This is only his second season, and it's mostly young. It's mostly young kids coming through who probably wouldn't have used it. They would have used it a little bit, I guess, but they need to, like I commented before, they need to use it a bit more. Probably up their fitness a little bit. Holy shit, we've still got 8 games at NRL to go through. Our tips, Cowboys. I know I'm rushing through, but I need sleep eventually. Let me just open up the Centre Bet app. We've all gone Cowboys, boys. Anyone got an opinion on the first game of the round?
I think we're all doing that just because Melbourne are resting a bunch of players. It won't be a pushover, but you got to think the Cowboys would get home.
Yeah, I agree. It's just the resting of the players for me.
Who are they playing again?
Melbourne Storm, who were coming
Storm,
first.
yeah. No Sean Wall, so Cowboys for me. We've all gone. I know, Rob, you've gone Manly to bounce back. Az and I have gone the Doggies. This is a tough one.
Yeah, I'm really pinning this on the fact that Crichton's not there. If Crichton was there, I'd probably go Canterbury. I was really impressed with what Turbo did. I think Manly got owned in the forwards by us, and if they get owned again by Canterbury this week, then they may as well not show up for the final. So I feel like Manly's just got a little bit more strike, and they've got a bit more size in the pack as well. So could be wrong. Canterbury are playing awesome, but just had a feeling Manly might get up this week.
We've all gone. Sorry, Az. We've all gone Panthers over the Rabbitohs. Rabbitohs, how many wins are they on? What are they on? 7. They've only won one more game than us.
That's why I said we can finish 15th if they lose their last 2, and we win big margins, and we win our last one. If we overcome the difference between their for and against and ours, then we can finish above them. They can finish 16th. And Parrot can finish last.
It's
so
95.
Josh, your two most hated teams both finishing below us on the ladder.
The perfect season. Best season since 2005. If that happens. Parramatta Eels v Dragons, another tough one. Az and I have gone Dragons. Roberto, you've gone Eels.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Parramatta put everything into this and have nothing left for the week after.
Good theory. It's pointless for them.
I've just made a rule, guys. I'm never backing a team with Matt Feeney in there. I mentioned on the Discord, he's the worst first grader I've ever seen. The first thing I did last weekend was get on Jesse Ramian to score a try because he was opposite him, and he made a meal of him from the scrum. And I think you'll find this week Will Penasini will be the right centre. That is my Rob Stradamus this week. Get on Will Penasini to absolutely torch this bloke. He's absolutely useless. And I'm surprised he's even going to start the game. I can't believe Flanagan's going to run with him again. Surely he drops him and does a bit of a shuffle or something. He's absolutely hopeless.
Dolphins Broncos. I'm going Dolphins. I don't know why. Fuck it. Bin's at home. Where is this game being played at? I didn't even check.
Suncorp.
That's a Suncorp. Oh, fuck. Okay. Maybe I'm an idiot.
No. It's a hard game. I got no confidence in this one, even though Kevy keeps saying that they're going to make the 8. I got absolutely zero confidence in the Broncos, but I've tipped the Broncos.
The Broncos are kind of in the best position to finish in the top 8 out of the teams that are in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th fighting for it. Their problem is they face the Storm next week. They'd need the Dragons to lose both of their last 2. They'd need to win at least one of their last 2 and hope the teams below them don't win 2 out of 2.
So they're not in the best position to make the 8.
They kind of are, except for the fact that they play the Storm. I'm talking about
mathematically.
Mathematically, they're currently in 9th with a positive for and against.
Yeah, Newcastle have got a good draw, but again, I mean, you never know what Gold Coast side's going to show up. They've got a lot of points in them.
the fact that the Raiders as well play the Dragons in the last round is pretty important for this whole little situation too.
Exercise. Yeah, it depends what Para do this week, though. I still think Para
And
can
then
get.
obviously Broncos and Dolphins, one of them is pretty much going to knock the other out because obviously the loser won't be able to go 2 from 2 and will need the Dragons to choke exceptionally hard.
Yeah.
We've all gone Sharkies against the poor old Warriors. They're just clunking along to the end of the season. Knights. We've all gone Knights over Titans. And then we've all gone Roosters over Raiders. Does anyone have an opinion on that? Rob's gone in and out again.
I just want to. I think all 3 of those are fairly straightforward, to be honest, except for, like you said, like Rob said, the Knights and the Titans game. I think that one could potentially go either way, depending on what Titans side shows up. Just want to shout out to Sean Johnson. Obviously, he'll be playing his last game this week since the Warriors have the bye next week. So I hope he has an absolute blinder. And I haven't tipped them, but I do hope for his sake that he can end his career on somewhat of a high note.
New South Wales Cup. So I popped down. I saw the last half an hour. Popped down to Lidcombe Oval, and I'm glad I did because the boys scored. Talon Silva, Josh Vellaty made a break down the side and put Talon Silva under the post to win, basically on the buzzer, 40-36. Not much defense in this game. It was a bit of a nearly a point a minute in this one, but the boys get the win over Aaron Woods' Blacktown Workers Seagulls. So Watson leader as well, Jakey Simkin, a few ex-Tigers on the other team scoring tries as well.
Hey, Tarsi James.
Yeah, it's almost quite a few ex-Tigers in that team. What a shame they all couldn't play first grade with Brooksy on Thursday, but yeah, good win
They could have had a team almost exclusively ex-Tigers.
NRLW, the poor girls again. Man, they just keep getting leads and they're blowing it as 14-6 at halftime and lose 44-14. I was only following the scores in this one. What happened?
First of all, I couldn't be any prouder or more impressed of how the first half went. The Broncos are a really tough team. They've been playing together for a fairly long time. A lot of them have won premierships together. And they're just a really well-oiled machine. We got off to a really strong start. We ran the ball up the guts quite a bit, took to the wings every now and then. Rakia Horn, some amazing runs from her center position again. And we just got off to a really strong start. Obviously, Pauline Pilia'e Rasambale scored a magnificent try, followed up by Salma Noor, who showed a lot of strength across the line for hers, and plant the ball down. And from there, it kind of just started to fall apart a little bit. Gail Broughton threw a brilliant dummy to score their only try the first half, but then we went into the sheds 14-6 up, and I thought it was there were really promising signs, but the second half just started on a really bad note, with the Broncos scoring through a Julia Robinson intercept 95-meter run, and there was really no stopping the Broncos from there. We just went away from doing what we were doing in the first half, and we just collapsed.
This week, the girls take on the Newcastle Knights up in Newcastle midday on Father's Day. There you go. Girls are playing Father's Day up in Newey. Only one change for the girls in the team list as?
Yep. So Rakia Horn suffered a HIA in the game last week. I think it was something in the first half. I think she suffered the HIA. Came back at the start of the second half after passing, but the club have decided to give her a bit of a rest this week. It's possible that she's had some symptoms flare up after the fact, or maybe it's just to be on the more precautious side. So she's out, and Cheyenne McGlone, who was 18th player last weekend, comes into the team, into the centres, and that brings friend of the show, Tess Staines, to 18th player this time round.
3-2-1 for the girls this week, as.
So this was honestly really bloody hard. I had my 2, and I had a 1, but I didn't have a 3, and I couldn't work out who to give a 3 because it didn't really feel like there were any performances worthy of a 3. So in the end, what I did was I left my 1 where they were. I moved my 2 up to 3, and I put another 2 in there. So Rakia Horn got the 3. Once again, brilliant carries out of our own end. Very unlucky not to get the tackle on the chase of Julia Robinson. She outpaced her. She caught her, just couldn't quite nail the tackle and slipped off the legs, and Julia Robinson broke free and away she went. So that was really unfortunate, but overall a really great game from Rakia. She will definitely, her and her pace will definitely be missed against the Knights. I gave my 2 to Bovetti Welsh, real leaders knock or captain's knock from her. Didn't do anything extraordinary, but led the team really well. Tried to keep momentum, or tried to get momentum back in the second half. It just wasn't working for her. And I think my surprise pack of the season has been Brooke Talataina, who's got the 1. She's shown in her games this year a lot of potential. She's really strong tackling. She's had to fill in Kezi Apps's shoes, which are very tough shoes to fill since she got injured. Defense has been extraordinary. Has some really good hard runs, and all game around me, people were just pointing out Brooke and what she was doing, and just all the effort and the hard work. And yeah, I had to agree.
Thank you. That as so, Rakia Horn is in the lead now, but she's out next week. So, what's there? 2 games left for the girls?
4.
Oh, that's right. They go into the semis. Jersey Flegg, they won by a field goal to Max Lyles in the 69th minute to get over the Seagulls. So 4 out of 4 for the boys and girls. The New South Wales, we'll get to the Harvey Norman girls in a second as well. The Flegg boys, they are playing this week. So the Cup's done for the year, but the Flegg boys are playing the Silktails at 10 o'clock our time on Saturday, but that's in Fiji, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so the boys get to finish their season in Fiji. How good. Good place to get.
They have.
They're playing next
finals as well.
Oh, do they? Okay. Oh, well.
So this is the last game for the junior,
stay off the Carver boys,
like the lower grades. So, the Jersey Flegg boys have the potential to make the finals, but they do need a little bit to go their way, as well as getting a win. New South Wales Cup, their season's over because they've got the bye, and unfortunately, they are going to finish last.
Yeah. Harvey Norman women, so they smacked the Seagulls 44-20. Good on you girls. They're playing up at Newcastle before. No, is that after? They're playing after the NRLW again.
Different ground.
Oh, Newcastle Permanent Centre of Excellence. Okay. Why wouldn't they play? Whatever.
They'll basically sort of be playing. They'll partially be playing at the same time because the NRLW game will be roughly going into the second half when those girls run out.
We did get a super chat just then from Brendan W. He sent us $15 to say, "Pleasure to see all you guys after the game. I washed my mouth out with soap for the expletives at the post match. It's all right, mate. I put the beep sound over them. The next game is bigger than just the spoon. Winning this will be good for next year. Good on you, Brendan. Every episode supporting the show, as we said to you in person, mate. It was good to meet you in person on Thursday last week. See you at Campbelltown. Good to thank you in person and thank you for coming on. And we will take the camera and as a spotlight, and the mic to Campbelltown. So hopefully get a win and some more swear words on the mic as well. So thank you, Bren,
and a whole lot of
W
laughs
for supporting the show. Yeah, 16th. Patreon.com/WestsLife. Let's see what the fellas and ladies have got for us there. I think there was a fair, plenty going on in the rant channel for this week. What have we got? Have my love child Latu said, so much to build on after this performance. For the first time in years, we have winners in the side. Yes, Galvin maybe overplayed his hand at some points, but have a kid at 19 that demands the ball when the game's in the balance is everything. Not to bash the guy, but for context, do we see Brooks at all when they needed something? Samuel and the centers marking turbo one-on-one and not just accepting defeat after what looked like clearly being beaten. Full stretch dive, completely horizontal to force the error. Mason, after a shocking start, still had the confidence to spray Caesar after that scrum move, fight for the try, and won us some really important penalties with hard running and late footwork. That's the most proud I've ever been of the Tigers in years. These dark days are going to make what's coming feel 100 times better. Amazon Girl, aka Carla, said, cannot believe Manly let Latu go for Brooks. How good. Big Swiss Mountain Fan Club, aka Craig, said, watching the young guys coming through over the years like Marshall, Lawrence, Farah, Tedesco, and others, how can you not love what we're seeing with Galvin, Buller, Mason, and the Fainu brothers? Farah was always a favourite, but Appy can't be denied the best hooker the West Tigers have ever had. He joins Gareth Ellis, elite status signings. We could even be adding Luai to that list for that next season to boot. Dream Buller, I am single, said, when this team wins, it's just the best club to be around. Best fans, players get involved in the celebrations, all around great vibes. Dare I say 2025 is our year. We say it every year, but next year is the first time we have young guns who are getting better and better, plus a winner joining the spine. Also, suck shit, Manly, you grubs. Ty Gus said, best West Tigers content available right here. My rant is about the hard work, passion, loyalty, tenacity, and love you guys. I love you guys' show for our beautiful club and fans through our doldrums. Ain't no fair weather fans here, just OGs and fire. Much love, great Tiger humans. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Gussie, for that. And then Ben Ellis said, just wanted to remind you all that I predicted the win and above message didn't get read out because I was ripped off for not getting a second show.
You missed a couple just above those, Josh.
Did I?
I'll run through them real quick. So, Benji, a Thursday night in August, bottom of the ladder, only a handful of games left, but Leichhardt was rocking and the boys dug deep after a shaky start and put a team some tip for the top four to the sword. What a night. Galvin, Appy, Big Red, Latu, Samuela, plus all the boys deserve a shout out. And Samuela Fainu Fan Club. Whatever we've thought about the coaching of Marshall this season, one thing he has instilled in this team is the belief that no matter what, they can get the job done. I don't think the West Tigers of the last few years would have been able to come back from 16-0 down and score 30 straight points. Belief is the key. And Shane Coe agrees, saying they are definitely playing for him. We just need to show enough next year for Galvin to see a future with us.
Beautiful. Good on you guys. Patreon.com/WestsLife. If you want to join us in the Discord, for those who don't know, Discord, it's just a chat room app, and there's all different sections. You can chat about all sorts of things. As is going off about these bloody Sydney Swans, and there's a AFL channel. He's got his own little Stats Man channel where he posts plenty of stats in there, music, NFL, plenty of NFL talk. With that starting, what is it, the week off this week? NFL
Next week.
Next
week.
Friday.
Broncos
Friday
3-0 in the preseason. We're making the playoffs, calling it now. So yeah, plenty going on in the Discord.
Joe Burrow
well.
for MVP.
Right, next episode next week. So no game to review. We'll have a game. The Spoon Bowl preview. Big preview. Yeah, maybe I was going to review your season predictions. Yeah. Big spoon. Fucking hell, we're nearly 2 hours in. Spoon Bowl preview. Yeah. So we'll preview that game on Tuesday next week. Thank you to the hundreds of you that tuned in tonight. Really appreciate it. Yeah, nice little boost in numbers after another win from the boys. So thank you to all the boys and girls who tuned in tonight live. Thank you to the thousands of you who tune in after the fact as well. And thank you to the dozens of you who jumped on the camera, and we'll see you after the next game. So I don't know. What are we going to do with our weekend off? It's annoying. The NFL. It's the NFL. I'm not they play on the weekend anyway, but it's a week off for the NFL. It's a week off for the West Tigers. There's no NBA.
I'm going to North Sydney on Friday night, which I'm pretty keen about.
What's it, North Sydney?
AFLW season opener.
Of course it is.
Swans Collingwood.
Don't know how I missed that. Yeah, Big Bash will start soon enough. But yeah, maybe we'll just spend time with our family, I guess, Rob.
Yeah, I'll be having Father's Day lunch and having a big
Of course,
get-together.
happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day
Thank
to you.
Thank you. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Josh, I have to tell you a little secret here. You know how we had a complaint at Campbelltown after the South victory about the song "It's Raining Men" being played over and over the speakers? A little birdie tells me that Aaron Thompson was responsible for the speakers coming out at Leichhardt singing, "Hey baby, will you be my girl?" seeing as he had his date with him that night, and that's why it just kept being replayed after every try.
They did that the week.
Well done, Aaron Thompson, for getting the PA announcer to do that. I thought that was very fitting on your first date because you didn't want to say it yourself, but they did it for you, and it was a celebration of a win too. Mate, you've come out with all the stops. So I'm looking forward to what you've got for us at Campbelltown this week, or next week, I should say.
We'll just ignore the fact they did it the game before as well at Campbelltown. But
yeah.
They've been doing it all year. But anyway, run with a joke anyway. All right, good night, everyone. Yeah, long one, but a win. Yeah, it's always fun talking about a win. So, yeah, week off, and we'll preview Spoon Bowl on Tuesday. Love yous all. As always, boys, go the Tigers.
Go the Tigers.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the WestsLife Podcast. Please follow us at WestsLife Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and facebook.com/WestsLifePod. You can also support and take part in the show at patreon.com/WestsLife, and give us a subscribe on YouTube and turn notifications on. We'll see you again next time on another episode of the WestsLife Podcast.